GKFX Prime presents the Market Analysis Webinar.
Hello traders, and welcome back to another video. My name is Dima. It is the first week of the month of May. We are in NFP week. It's a new month. Let's see what the market is giving us this week. As usual, you know what I'm going to be doing here with you, giving you some higher probability opportunities, looking at the markets across several assets, several charts, and we're going to see what we've got for this week lined up. So welcome back once again, and thank you for joining me. If you're here for the first time, then welcome to you as well. Right, let's get to what we've got for this week. Let's see where we can find the better opportunities for the week. This is quite a week, could be a busy week, could be an interesting week. We've got some high impact major news, as is usual with the first week for every month. So on Monday, we've got some bank holidays from the UK and Switzerland there. And then we have a more minor news on the dollar, the ISM PMI numbers. Going to Tuesday, we've got the rate announcement from Australia, so that's one to watch out for. On the euro, we have CPI numbers, and then we've got another speech from the Royal Bank of Australia later in the day. Also got job opening numbers on the dollar, unemployment numbers on New Zealand, from New Zealand there. In the middle of the week, Wednesday, we've got a bank holiday from Japan on the yen, on the dollar, ADP employment change, which is lesser news than high impact, than lower impact, I should say, than others. In context with this week especially, then ISM PMI numbers on the dollar, and then major one, we've got FOMC and the Fed rate announcement. So that's a big one to watch out for the week. Thursday, another bank holiday day in Japan, and then a major one on the euro, the rate and monetary policy. And then on the dollar, unemployment claims, again on the euro, a press conference after the announcement earlier in the day. And then we've got from the Bank of Canada speech there towards the end of the day. On Friday, another bank holiday from Japan, and on the Swiss, we've got CPI numbers and a speech from the central bank. And in Canada, we've got unemployment rate, and then another big one on the dollar, the NFP, as usual. So we're going to watch out for many markets on that. We've got NFP there, we've got FOMC and the Fed rate, we've got the rates on the euro and the rates on Australian dollar. So big one there. A major week with some major news. Let's see what we can do with the charts, bearing in mind this news. And it may be the case, as we always say, that the first week of the month is one to watch out for, because we have a little bit of unpredictability, and the market usually takes it the second week of the month. So if nothing is clear, you may want to look out for the second week and maybe set this week aside if nothing is clear in terms of the setups, because we do have some major impact news. So the market may shift and change around a little bit. Bear that in mind. Keep that with you, because you don't really know what's going to happen until you see the price action play out. Always a caveat of it, always manage your risk. Okay, let's move on now to the charts. And I'm going to start with the major one. Going to have a look at some monthly candles as well, because we've got a new month. So let's see how we merge this week with the monthly picture. We've been bearish on the dollar and bullish on the currencies for some time now. And on the monthly, we could see that the pound here broke out of this range, closed higher for the month. On the weekly, we could see we've closed bullish as well. And now I'm going to look to aim for the next targets, which would be up here and up here for me. So the nearest one would be here. So that is about 120 pips away. And with this bullishness, I'm going to look to the next possible entry to find a buy scenario. So the next obvious one will be this level down here, and I'll be looking for a better price in order to buy that to the next level. And the invalidation point for this idea would be down here, because if we break the previous swing, then this idea would not hold water anymore, because we are in a bullish environment. So the break here would indicate a possible change, and that is about 120-30 pips away. So that's the idea here, going into this high and then the next high. So that's the bullishness on the pound. Next, let's have a look at another pound pair. So we've got pound Aussie. Again, let's look at the monthly. You can see the monthly was very clearly bullish. We've got these high right here. This high is the next target, and after that would be this high up here. So that's bullish. Weekly also ended up bullish. So quite clear that we have these matching time frames. Let me just delete all these markings here. That's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Right. Then go to lower time frame, and the next level that I see is down here. If you like, you can pull up a fib to see that, and we can see the 61.8 down here. Here's the halfway mark. So a drop in price to get a better entry, and continuing to the upside to the next level, which is about 300 pips away. That's quite a decent amount away, and we'll be looking at this level to target. So let's see how that lines up, especially with the news on Tuesday on Aussie, and we'll see if the market actually wants to do what we've got in mind here. So that's the pound Aussie. Again, bullish on the pound, bullish on the pound Aussie. Now let's look at another pound pair, slightly different. We've got euro pound. So we are bullish on the pound, and in the case of euro pound, we are also going to be bearish. So that matches up with the pound bullishness. So what do we see here? Well, looking at the monthly, we had this impulsive move higher, and now we are in this, stuck in this range, creating wicks on both sides. And on the weekly, we can see that we're slowly petering down, and we've got this last week's candle closing very bearish, taking out the previous week. And it looks like we are now going to be coming back down to the bottom of this range. And from there, from where we are now to the bottom, it's about 50 pips. Let me just adjust that right here. So that's the bottom, and then the next swing down would be down here. So those are the 2 points I'll be looking at as a target. And now let me drop down. You can see we had this very bearish move in the week, and then this next coming week I'll be looking for a continuation of that. So here's the target I'm looking at, and looking at the better price would be this level down here, with this wick being the invalidation point. So I don't expect it to move beyond that. So any better price to create a new swing, and then a continuation to the downside, with this level being the first point of call where I would look at would be down here. Actually, let me move it a bit further. It's about the 0.87 level. So this is the swing that I'm looking at with the drop. Don't want to be chasing price at the moment. It's too low, too cheap. I want to get a more expensive price, and then continue onwards to the next level, as you can see down here, with this part of this big range. That's the idea because of the bearishness euro pound, and that matches up with the strong pound. But again, don't be taking all of them at the same time, because, well, that is carrying too much risk. So you don't really want to be paying attention to which ones you choose and what risk you use, what size. Let's go to the next one, which we will look at dollar CAD in this case. And looking at dollar CAD, I did have the bearish idea, if I'm not mistaken, a few weeks ago. That didn't happen. We pushed higher, and now we have this. So you can see it pushed higher. That did not happen. So I'm just going to remove all of that. Now, if we look back onto the weekly, just looking at the monthly, we can see that this month closed around about neutral. We had this big weak candle, and the month after that did not follow. Right, and with the bearishness in the dollar, we're still expecting bearishness in dollar CAD. So here we are back to this level. We have not breached this major high. We have made a retracement of that high, very deep retracement into the 78 level. And we are now in this area where we're interested in the turnaround, which we have had reviewing this whole week. So it wasn't this week where we're having the continuation. Now I'm looking at this possible area as the next level of continuation. So quite clearly, I wouldn't expect the market to break the highs now that we have this potential swing develop. We closed very bearish. This is an engulfing candle, so that continuation to the downside may now resume after all. So there is this level here around about the 1.322. So that's our reference point, and we are quite some way away, 300 pips. Looking on the lower time frame, going into the week, what I would look for is some kind of better price, and then continuation to the downside. Now, if the better price does not work out, I'll be looking for the next break of the structure of the market, and as it breaks, then after that, we'll be looking for the next swing point. And then the drop. So that is plan B if I don't get this better price, for the market to move a bit higher and perhaps gives us another kind of double top or M pattern, and then continue to the downside. So this is another high probability idea. As you can see, looking back on the weekly again, so we had this rejection of this area, closed weaker, left this large wick to the upside, and now continuing to the downside to these lows. Obviously this first low, and then these lows, and then this low. So first ideal target will be down here, and that will be around about 1.33 mark. Okay, so that's the dollar CAD. Again, bearishness, weakness, looking to sell the dollar CAD. Okay, next on the list, another CAD pair. Let's go to CAD yen. So here's the CAD yen. We are what looks like to be a retracement. We had this move down. If we pull up fib, and we can see that here is the halfway level, here's the 61.8 level. We haven't yet reached there, and it looks like the last month has been bullish, closed very bullish as this pin bar. Looking at the weekly, we've got a very clear bullish weekly pin bar as well, engulfed the previous week and the week before that, so that's engulfing of two candles. Therefore I would look to the buy side for my bias. Here's that next level to watch out for, and then the one after that would be the 61.8 on the fib. Now let me just delete that fib and make those two levels a bit clearer. Here's that first point, 101.3, and here's the second one, 104. So those are the two reference points, and I'm looking for higher prices. Let's go down a time frame, and this is what we could see, very, very large move up, this turnaround. This is the next swing point, so I would not expect the market to breach this swing. So it's a little bit clunky. Okay, so this is the swing. Now, as always, we'll be looking to a better price. And we have a drop to a better price. That would be a nice idea. And then going higher and possibly higher still to the next level after that. So here's that level, here's that idea. We are quite near where our first target is, only about 50 pips away. So really would want to see a nice better price to work off and then get a swing, turnaround and continuation to the upside to buy the CAD yen. We may not get that, who knows, we might just rip higher as well. So let's see how it goes. The idea is to get a swing and continue on the buy side momentum. We may breach this level up here and then get the swing, and then we can, once we have that pullback and a continuation to the upside into the 104 level. In fact, if I just make this a little bit more accurate, here's that next level that we're looking at, this obvious swing. So let's be a bit more realistic, conservative. 103.5 I think should be about right. Don't need to squeeze everything out of the market. Can take our piece, and there we go. You can see the difference between this move down here, which was a big impulsive move, and the very slow ranging movement here that we've got at the moment. But the bias, at least for now in the short term, is to the upside, and we'll also fill this gap in the price, and then we'll go from there. Once we get there, we'll adjust. So for now, the bullishness is where it's at, and also with the weak yen as well lately matches up. Okay, let's go on now to the next one. So we've done pound dollar, we've done pound Aussie, euro pound, dollar CAD, CAD yen, and let's go to oil, an old favorite, you could say. It's one we've been looking at for a while. So oil is a funny one, isn't it? This is the invalidation point I was looking at. We have these very slow down in momentum for the week. We have on the monthly candle a very funny candle. It gapped, and then we have come down to fill the gap, but it closed bearish. What does that mean? Well, it's still not a clear turnaround. I marked this level down here. I was looking at the dollar being weak and oil gaining its strength, and I did look for this gap to be filled and for the market to turn around. That was the idea last time out, which it seems to have done, but we don't quite have confirmation of the turnaround. Why is that? Because we have not broken the structures. We are still in this downward momentum. We are still in this kind of like a channel. We've come down, and now the question is this going to be a swing low? Is this turning point or not? Well, we're going to know that when we clear new structures and then move further up. So the last obvious structure is up here. So if we clear this one and the dollar continues to be weak and we get a pullback to a better price, then a swing would be the pullback, and then a continuation and some firm price action would be the buy side idea going into the next high, which would be last obvious one would be up here. I can now just adjust this area right here. So let's just keep that as a reference. And now the question becomes, are we going to breach that and have the turnaround, or are we going to go lower still? Now, I marked this area as the invalidation point last time, and that seems to be holding at least for now. But if we do not hold this point right here and actually break lower, then I'll be looking at the turnaround on the lower prices, which would be down here. So I'll be looking at the market to reach down further, and then if we get down further here, then just marking these possible scenarios, then I'll be looking at this area to trade from, and then the turnaround here. But that is yet to show. The market is yet to show its hand at the moment. I'm not quite sure yet. Are we going to hold this level where we're at right now or not? There's still a few too many question marks. So really want to see this scenario play out before I consider the buy. And if we drop further down here, then I'll have to reassess down here when we get to this level. So far, not quite clear yet. And let's see where the market goes if it gives us the entry. Right now, I would say hold fire and wait, especially with this big news week. We really don't want to get on the wrong side of the market suddenly and then will go against us. So let's watch out for that. Like I said, this week could be a has a potential to be a very volatile one, and also some unpredictability. So we can wait, and when we get the clear price action, then we will act. That's should always be the case, really, not just on the NFP week. And finally, we've got Bitcoin as always. Right, looking on the monthly chart because we have a new month. We have a bullish month. Last month it closed bullish and closed higher than the previous month. We still have that continuation of the bullishness, it looks like. I was looking at this as being where prices stalled and coming down to get a better price in order to buy. We have not had that. We've got yet more ranging movement, yet more. It's kind of unclear. Is this a range or is this a whole big range? I'm not quite clear yet. So because of that, I don't want to be taking any trades, any shots until there is clarity. Where we are right now, there's still a possibility that we could break this low and go lower, and these are the scenarios that I pointed out earlier. The drop into this area or even lower, I still don't know. But if I see a break of this high, then that would signify that we are going higher. And then once we break that high, when we get a pullback and then a continuation of the trend to the buy side, ultimately to first of all fill this gap, then into this area here. These will be the next levels of interest if we're going to buy. At the moment, it's not quite clear. I don't have any price action. Nothing is showing me clarity on what to do here. So I really want to get a much better price at the moment from where we're at, this swing, to where we're at now. We haven't even reached the halfway mark with no retracement. So therefore, not much point to buy until we see something that's more clear. Right now, I don't really have any clarity on the situation as it stands. So the probabilities will probably, I would say, more likely than not be clear as we end the week with the news so far. You never know really, but if we drop down, for example, and then the news turns the market around and we have a new swing point, obviously this now it becomes the invalidation point. If we do have a turnaround, then that could be an idea coming to the end of the week. But so far, it's really quite tricky in terms of the price action of where we're at here. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit like the oil one. Not quite sure which way we're going so far, and it could be too early to jump on it. I really want to see a little bit more price action unfolding and the market to play its poker hand, and in a moment then we'll keep our poker face. So that's the idea for this week. These are the markets. Obviously, we've got big news week. We've got several pound pairs that I outlined. Don't want to be picking all of them. A few dollar-based pairs as well. So we're going to trade carefully and pick the ones that are clearer, particularly paying attention to the price action, because that will signify where the move is going in the market. All right, so as always, I'm going to end with reminding you to manage your risk, and thank you very much for joining me. Hope that helps you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click the like button. Share if you've got any comments on your charts or what you're looking at, or what we covered in this video. And I will see you again on the next video next week. Have a good trading week. Trade carefully and goodbye for now. All right, guys. Hope this video helped. I'll see you on the next week's video, next installment, and join me then. Okay, bye for now.